The revised EU withdrawal agreement bill comes to before Parliament, and now it's expected to be approved at an early stage by MPs today, and then there are going to be 3 more days allowed for debate in early January. Now, this is a similar amount of time to what was proposed in October, but back then, remember, there was a huge rumpus because a lot of MPs under the old Parliament felt there wasn't nearly enough time to thrash this out. Now, of course, Boris Johnson has this very healthy majority. It's all expected to sail through and perhaps be in law by mid-January. Now, there are big changes from the previous bill. The government basically has given itself a lot more power and stripped away a lot of the powers for MPs. So first of all, in law will be this ruling that there'll be no extension to the transition period. All the trade deal must be sorted out in the next year. Parliament loses its say in overseeing the government's negotiating strategy. That's very significant because when they get embroiled in the detail of the talks next year, what's Parliament really going to know about it? That's a big question. And other things are changed as well. Protections removed or watered down on areas like workers' rights, and also something very controversial about taking care of refugee children. The government says it's still committed to those principles. It'll just be dealt with elsewhere, but there still could be rows in Parliament ahead on that.
One area that is likely to cause rows is, of course, sorting out a trade deal between the EU and the UK. Boris Johnson wants to get that done pretty quickly, but it's going to be difficult.
Yes, everything changes on February the 1st. The UK will be out of the EU. This is when the transition phase starts and runs up until the end of December next year. The government's ruled out extending that. It says the trade deal must be sorted with the EU next year. There's also the whole question of the future relationship. Now, this is why a lot of people are very sceptical, and there's talk, including from Jeremy Corbyn there, about another cliff edge, another potential no-deal scenario next year. But the more that trade experts say that it's very unrealistic, this time frame, the more the UK government insists it all can be done. But given the fact that Boris Johnson wants to diverge from EU rules, the EU is not likely to give way on that, and trade experts say it's going to involve concessions, it's going to involve trade-offs. Certainly ruling out the extension focuses minds, but some are saying that maybe the ambitions will be scaled back, and what we'll be looking at next year is much more of a bare bones trade deal than a complete package to deal with the whole relationship. A lot of euphoria amongst Brexiteers at the moment, but there's a lot of hard work still ahead.